room froze as the instructor's voice sliced through the air. "This academy isn't for people like you," he barked, his tone sharp enough to cut glass. All eyes shifted to Jamal Williams, a tall, lean 19-year-old standing in the doorway. He wore plain sweatpants and a t-shirt instead of the traditional jiu-jitsu uniform. His hands didn't shake from fear, only from a quiet, controlled fire inside. "I've paid every fee in full," Jamal said steadily. "I just haven't been able to buy the GE yet, but I'm here to learn like everyone else." Instructor Sean Reynolds, a former competitor with more ego than humility, stepped forward. "Learn? You think you can walk into the most respected gym in the city dressed like that?" He scanned the room of mostly privileged students. "This isn't a charity project. Jiu-jitsu is about discipline and tradition." Uneasy laughter rippled around the mats. No one spoke up. "I can have the uniform by next class," Jamal replied, unmoved. "I worked for 3 months to afford this training." Reynolds crossed his arms. "It's not just the clothes. It's about respect. Let me show everyone why we're selective." He motioned Jamal to the center. Phones came out. "Attack me," Reynolds ordered. "I'd rather start by learning," Jamal answered calmly. "You're here to be an example," the instructor snapped. In a flash, Reynolds locked Jamal's arm and slammed him to the mat. "That's why we don't take just anyone," he boomed, pressing down harder. A few students laughed, uneasy but entertained. Jamal rose slowly, eyes steady. "May I try again, Sensei?" he asked, voice level. Reynolds smirked, expecting an easy repeat. But tucked beneath Jamal's shirt was a set of military dog tags, a quiet reminder of years of secret training from his uncle, a national champion and former soldier. Jamal had been waiting for this moment since he was 5. That night, while cleaning the mats as punishment, he smiled to himself. He wasn't humiliated. He was exactly where he wanted to be. If you're curious to see how Jamal turns this challenge on its head, hit subscribe and stay tuned, because sometimes the greatest strength lies in being underestimated. Cleaning bathrooms, washing sweaty uniforms, hauling heavy gear, every night before he was even allowed on the mat. "Discipline," Instructor Reynolds said with a crooked grin as Jamal scrubbed the locker room floor. "Learn that first, then maybe we'll talk technique." During class, Jamal was rarely invited to practice real moves. When he was, it was only so Reynolds could slam him to the mat in painful demonstrations. "See how you neutralize a bigger opponent with no skill?" Reynolds would say after throwing him down. Students chuckled. Jamal stayed quiet, memorizing every detail. On the rare occasions he paired with others, something about his balance caught attention. "You've trained before, haven't you?" asked Marcus Kim, a blue belt, after noticing Jamal's instinctive footwork. "I watch a lot of videos," Jamal replied with his usual faint smile. After one especially brutal class, purple belt Jessica Chun approached him. "Meet me at the corner cafe in 10 minutes, she whispered. "We need to talk." Over coffee, Jessica didn't waste time. "What's your game, Jamal? No one takes that kind of punishment without a reason." "I'm just here to learn." "Stop. I've seen tougher guys quit in a week. You've lasted a month, and you're hiding something." Jamal exhaled. His uncle's advice echoed in his mind. "Sometimes you need an ally to win an impossible fight." "My uncle was a national champion before he joined the Special Forces," Jamal finally said. "He trained me since I was a kid." Reynolds knew him. When my uncle won the title, Reynolds spread lies about doping. It was proven false, but the damage stuck. "So this is revenge?" Jessica asked. "It's justice," Jamal corrected. Reynolds ruined his reputation. Now he runs a gym that humiliates anyone he thinks is beneath him. I'm not here just to beat him. I'm here to expose him. Back at the dojo, Reynolds plotted another public lesson. "The Regional Open Championship is next month," he announced to the class. "Williams, you'll represent us in the beginner's bracket." Surprised whispers rippled through the room. "Thanks for the opportunity, Sensei," Jamal said evenly. "Don't thank me yet," Reynolds smirked. "You'll probably be out in the first round." "Good chance to learn your place." What Reynolds didn't know, 3 nights a week, Jamal trained in a basement gym on the south side with Carlos Mendez, a former teammate of Jamal's uncle. Jessica had reached out to Carlos herself. "He needs a place to sharpen his edge quietly," she explained. Carlos, who had his own grudges against Reynolds, agreed instantly. "If Marcus's nephew has half his talent," he said, "Reynolds is in for a lesson he'll never forget." In those secret sessions, Jamal finally unleashed his real skills. "Your uncle taught you well," Carlos observed, "but we'll make sure Reynolds thinks you're just a natural beginner until it's too late." As the tournament neared, Reynolds ramped up the training, using Jamal as a live prop for harsher and harsher demonstrations. Late one night, after the dojo lights went dark, Reynolds opened an email from the regional committee. A competitor had been misregistered, forcing a last-minute change in the brackets. The showdown everyone will remember. Reynolds stared at the tournament email, frown deepening. Advanced Division, Jamal Williams. He opened the attached file and froze. Listed were 3 junior championships, each with Jamal's name in first place. "Impossible," he muttered. Across town, Jamal studied the framed photo of his late uncle Marcus. Beside it hung the championship GI Marcus had worn in his final match. Jamal had never put it on, until now. "It's almost time," he whispered, fingers brushing the dog tags around his neck. For him, victory wasn't about hurting an opponent. It was about forcing a man to face his own reflection. The tournament. The regional open buzzed with energy as the elite martial arts team arrived in crisp white uniforms. Jamal came alone, carrying a scuffed backpack. Reynolds intercepted him instantly. "What's this advanced division nonsense? Did you fake paperwork?" "I submitted my real record," Jamal said calmly. "You don't have a record," Reynolds snapped. Before the argument could escalate, Jessica called from the officials' table. "Reynolds, your weight class is being checked. You're up." In the locker room, Jamal unfolded his uncle's slightly faded G, the old team emblem still intact. He laid his military dog tags across his chest, visible this time. An announcement rang out. First bout, Sean Reynolds versus Jamal Williams, both from Elite Martial Arts Academy. Reynolds stormed from the office, furious. "What did you pull?" "No tricks," Jamal replied evenly. "Just poetic justice." 14 seconds. The crowd hushed as they bowed to each other. Reynolds lunged first, eager to dominate. Jamal didn't flinch. With one fluid motion, he slipped aside, shifted weight, and launched a flawless throw. Reynolds hit the mat hard. Before the instructor could react, Jamal locked his arm in a perfect submission hold. The tap came fast, just 14 seconds from start to finish. The arena went silent. Then a murmur spread, exactly like Marcus Williams in the 2010 Nationals. Reynolds staggered up, grasping for dignity. "That was luck," he muttered. "It was pure technique," said a new voice. Carlos Mendez stepped onto the mat. The same technique Marcus taught his nephew for years. Reynolds paled. "Nephew? Marcus didn't—" "He did," Carlos cut in. "And you knew it. Just like you knew the lies you spread about him." Jessica stepped forward, holding a tablet. "Need a reminder, Sensei?" On screen played an old video of a younger Reynolds accusing Marcus of using banned substances, accusations long since proven false. From the stands, the State Federation president folded his arms. "Reynolds, this violates our code of ethics. You'll answer to a disciplinary hearing immediately." Phones recorded every word. Former students who had once suffered similar humiliation were capturing the moment that would end Reynolds's reign. "This goes far beyond a simple hearing," the Federation president announced. "We're talking about the immediate suspension of your instructor's license." Reynolds felt his world collapse in real time. Years of carefully built authority turned to dust as cameras captured every second. Jamal, by contrast, stood calm and steady. No gloating, only quiet fulfillment. "The true spirit of jiu-jitsu," he said evenly, "isn't about dominating others. It's about conquering your own fears and limits." Under the bright lights, his uncle's dog tags glinted against the faded gi. Jamal was no longer the young man singled out for humiliation. He was the embodiment of the art itself. Clips of the 14-second match spread worldwide, sparking fierce debate about ethics in martial arts. Reynolds faced total professional collapse, license suspended, an investigation opened into years of abusive practices. Former students came forward with their own accounts. Branches of the once prestigious academy closed. and the main gym even changed its name in a desperate bid to escape the scandal. Jamal declined offers from elite competition teams. "I'm not chasing trophies," he told a martial arts magazine. Instead, he partnered with Carlos to expand a free community program on the South Side, turning their small basement into a full training center for kids who would otherwise be left out. Jessica, now a licensed physical therapist, joined the project with a program for injured athletes. "What I saw that first day," she recalled at the new gym's opening, "wasn't just flawless technique. It was the patience and focus that always outlast brute force." 6 months later, respected masters, including those who once trained with Marcus, tied a black belt around Jamal's waist. He wore his uncle's worn gi with pride. "Belts don't define worth," he said quietly. "Character does, especially when no one believes in you." On a rainy afternoon, a gaunt figure stepped into the new gym. Reynolds. Jamal met him in a small office. "I could have filed lawsuits," Reynolds began after a long silence, "for defamation, conspiracy." "You could," Jamal answered calmly, "but the evidence speaks for itself." "I've lost everything," Reynolds admitted. "My school, my reputation, even my family has turned away." "You lost those things by your own choices," Jamal replied, his voice free of anger. After another pause, Reynolds lowered his head. "Your uncle was better than me, always was. I'm sorry for what I did to him and to you." Jamal studied the man, no longer a tyrant, but a reminder of how ego can corrode a life. "I accept your apology," he said at last. "What will you do now?" "I don't know," Reynolds whispered. "No one will hire me. No one wants to be near me." Jamal considered the fallen instructor for a long moment, the rain tapping softly on the windows, proof that even in defeat, redemption can begin with a single honest word: a second chance. "We're launching a program for veterans recovering from trauma next month," Jamal said quietly. "We need volunteers for setup and logistics. No teaching, just helping behind the scenes." Reynolds blinked, stunned. "Why would you offer me that?" "Because my uncle believed everyone deserves a second chance," Jamal replied. "But it has to be earned, not given." 1 year later, months passed. The Williams Community Dojo celebrated its first anniversary with an open house event. Neighborhood kids who once couldn't afford lessons now rolled on the mats alongside veterans in recovery, and even a few of Reynolds' former students. In the back of the room, almost unnoticed, Reynolds worked steadily, organizing gear, greeting visitors, setting up chairs. The road back was long, but he had taken the first step. That evening, after the crowd left, Jamal stood alone on the mat, holding his uncle's dog tags. He realized that the real victory wasn't the 14-second match that toppled a tyrant. It was every quiet moment since, when a new student discovered they belonged, no matter their background, appearance, or bank account. "True power isn't how fast you can defeat someone," Jamal often told his students. "It's how long you're willing to train, wait, and be ready for the right moment." The larger lesson: Jamal Williams' journey wasn't just about a young man outsmarting a bitter instructor. It was proof that moments of injustice can spark lasting change. While some chase trophies, Jamal built a future where no one is judged by the color of their skin or the brand of their uniform, but by the strength of their character and the purity of their technique. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that patience and integrity can turn humiliation into triumph, subscribe and join us. We share true stories of unexpected champions who rise when no one sees them coming, until they prove the world wrong in just 14 unforgettable seconds.